Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. So here we go, we got yet again another controversy. The left is real mad. Mad at what exactly, you ask? Well, you know, the usual. The left is mad that a biracial man has a different opinion from them. As we know, the leftoids believe this to be illegal. The inclusive, anti-racist left has a real hard time with ideological diversity within certain groups of people. A really interesting scenario we got here. After Kamala Harris's CNN interview, MSNBC decided to do a focus group, and one of the individuals on the panel happened to be a black conservative, and apparently, according to leftoids, that's unacceptable. And supposedly the man infiltrated the focus group, because apparently you're not allowed to be a pro-Trump individual in a focus group giving your opinion. Yeah, real interesting take, but if that's the stance that leftoids want to take, then sure, let's run with it. Absolute base Chad. Oh, he infiltrated the MSNBC focus group, I guess to spread red pills to the masses. Let's have a conversation about it. The left is offended by it. I think it's a good thing. In fact, I think it provides a little bit of ideological balance where it doesn't exist at MSNBC. Let me show you guys exactly what happened. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so the leftoid accounts are real pissed about this. A member of MSNBC focus group of mixed-race voters attacked Vice President Kamala Harris over her race, but it turns out that Abdul Ali is a GOP congressional candidate and pro-Trump podcaster. Ooh.
Raise your hand if you are a Republican, Democrat, Independent. Does the way that you identify racially impact your politics, or specifically how you plan to vote this election?
Absolutely.
How so?
I'm not going to lend my support behind someone who does not support people who look like me.
I don't think he sees me as who I am.
Former President Donald Trump.
Yes.
And what about the rest of you?
I just don't think that Kamala Harris has anything vested in the air finger quote black or Hispanic experience in so much as it would be identified by anybody that lives in those communities.
You're saying you don't think that she can help black or brown people?
No, I mean, going to Howard don't make you black.
A conversation that quickly turned to this moment in a July interview at the National Association of Black Journalists.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
What did you think when you heard those comments?
Highly offensive. I mean, I think probably every multiracial, mixed race, biracial person has had the experience of someone else telling them that they are not something enough. I think it's kind of triggering, right?
I think it is impossible to be biracial in America. And I think that it requires that you're covering all bases at all times. And it requires constant recognition of both identities. And I think when Donald Trump says stuff like that about Kamala Harris and implies that she's like picking a race for political advantage, it's tapping into an incredibly familiar sentiment that I think everyone on this panel can understand.
Marie and Abdul, as Trump supporters, when you heard that comment, as mixed people, how did it register with you?
Well, my first thought was, that wasn't very well thought out. At the same time, though, when I heard it, I didn't hear it as an attack on blacks or Indians. I heard it more so of him commenting towards identity politics and the appeal that some take to play up one side of their race over the other.
Abdul, I see you nodding your head.
I agreed with him. I didn't know she identified as black because everything I saw was first South Asian, first Indian. There's none of that identified as black.
Regardless of her parents, I mean, she was born in this country, and she identifies as a black person in this country in an American way, in a uniquely American context.
I've never heard her identify herself as a black woman.
She said multiple times she's a black woman.
I've never heard it.
But I'm black, and I'm proud of being black.
Politics.
I should note that one of the gentlemen we spoke to there, Abdul Ali, is currently a Republican candidate for North Carolina's 12th congressional district. His opponent is Representative Alma Adams, who was elected back in 2014. But what's
Okay, I'm failing to see the issue here. I'm a little bit confused, to be honest. So what is it exactly that the left is so offended by? The fact that you have a black man here who was present on a panel and had a different opinion than you're emotionally comfortable with handling? What exactly is the suggestion? That conservative black people not be included in the public conversation? That it's somehow wrong to include them in focus groups? Give me a frickin' break. The reality is black conservatives exist, and this is a reality that leftoids ought to get used to and used to quick, because guess what? Newsflash, there's more and more of them by the day as your insane policies continue to push black men away from the Democrat Party. I don't know if leftoids realize, but this focus group wasn't a focus group of undecided voters, people pretending to be nonpartisan or on the fence, independents who don't know who they're going to vote for. It was simply a group of mixed-race voters giving their opinions. And yeah, the reality is there's people who have different opinions that you might not agree with, and those people ought to be represented. But of course, the Democrat view is that he's a Republican GOP shill that was sent to attack Kamala Harris. What an absurd statement. He was sent to push the party talking points. No, he wasn't. He's a man who ran his own congressional bid for office, who happens to do a political podcast where he gives a right-wing opinion. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like I said earlier, I think this was a breath of fresh air. Finally, an opposing view was represented on MSNBC. And his view in particular is a relevant view. It's not just a Republican attack line that one of Trump's minions is pushing as he's infiltrated this focus group. No, it's actually a very popular, pervasive view that a lot of people share.
What do you guys think about Kamala?
It'll be cool.
She's terrible. If she comes into office, it will be done.
It'll be cool to see a female black, she's half black, not fully black, but it'll be cool to see a black president,
Western Indian,
female black president, but I'm definitely voting for Trump.
Let me tell you something. She tries to get the black vote, because if you look at her past things, and maybe 10, 15 years ago, when she's in interviews, she identifies as West Indian.
She does.
The only way that she's identified as African American is right now, because she wants the voters, but she doesn't give a fuck. Because where was she at in these past 4 years if she's vice president? What has she done for us?
She have not.
Can you say one thing that
I didn't even know she was the vice president.
Can we say what she has done?
Let's go, Trump.
And I am going to stand on Trump, and I'm so sorry if that may ruffle people's feathers, but I have done my own research, and Trump has done a lot for us, more than what the media tries to portray. They're getting all our favorite rappers. They're having Megan Thee Stallion twerk and all of that to gain, because they think that that's going to make us vote for them, and that's not.
And that never got my vote.
And that will never get my vote. And I'm going to stand on that. Twerking
did not get my vote.
Meg Thee Stallion, first off, the song that she was even saying is very ignorant.
Go around asking people on the streets. I've seen so many of these interviews so far, and you'll see the same thing over and over again. You'll see the same repeated pattern. Are all of those people Republican shills, Trump podcasters who are infiltrating these online interviews? No, they're regular people who have different opinions. And you're just throwing a hissy fit, frankly, because a black man disagrees with you, and you leftoids view that as unacceptable. And you're the side of anti-racism. Give me a frickin' break. You're the side of big media propaganda. The side that just wants the establishment cult to win at any and all cost. And if that means stifling dissent, well then that's what's gotta happen, huh? This left-wing perspective ought to be condemned totally, where you see these leftist collectivists throwing a hissy fit every single week when a news organization does its job ethically. Oh, they gave Donald Trump a platform, how unacceptable, we should boycott this news network. The only thing that's acceptable to these people is hardcore left-wing partisan hackery. Anything else is straight up fascism. They want the media to keep doing their frickin' dirty work. They want kid gloves for Kamala, just like we saw in that pathetic CNN interview. I mean, total political kabuki theater. They even had an 18-minute highly edited interview that they aired to the public with a live tag on. Totally unbelievable. I mean, look, there's a live tag in this edited, chopped up piece of video that was played to the public where Dana Bash didn't even challenge Kamala Harris even once. Meanwhile, this is how Dana Bash treated J.D. Vance just a couple weeks prior.
You guys seem to be struggling a little bit. Kamala Harris has been calling the shots. As who? There's no evidence that Kamala Harris threw him overboard, called you and Donald Trump, and that is weird.
Sure.
You're saying Tim Walz doesn't have affection for his wife? I don't even understand that. They have done both. They have both policies, and they are trying to define
Dana,
you as well. You have been on the campaign trail questioning Tim Walz's military record. Governor Walz served 24 years.
Sure.
He even stayed after he could have retired because of 9/11, more than the country asked of him. Do you honor his service? I will say that the Harris-Walz campaign did say that the governor misspoke. That was a month before the National Guard even announced that it was possible that they would deploy to Iraq, and it ended up being 2 months. He retired 2 months before they actually got the paperwork.
You know, that right there is what the left wants. They want an aggressively biased approach. They want corruption. They want propaganda. They want to stifle dissent. And I'm just going to say it, they don't want minorities to think for themselves or to have a voice in the political arena. No, this man didn't infiltrate the MSNBC focus group. He's just a regular dude with with his own opinions, and it pretty much ends there. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.